Welcome, everybody. I will wait for a few minutes before we start. You can see that my colleague Larissa is also in the background there. So happy that you joined the session today with me. Maybe you can add a little bit in the webinar chat. Just where are you from? I'm based at this moment in Deventer, but the office is in Amsterdam. And I'm working for 2 years for AG5 now. And please let me know if you can hear me as well. Because if not, then we maybe can be out for a minute. But if the webinar is starting, then it's okay. I see a yes, so I think it's you see also. Great. Thank you for that. Oh wow, we are also joined by Barcelona. You're really welcome. And even from the USA, North Carolina. Great to hear. Thank you. I will just wait a minute and then we will start because I don't want to leave you waiting. And I have some explanations for you of AG5. Great. I see some people joined, new people joined. So just repeating me myself. I hope everybody can hear me. I'm talking now. So if you cannot hear me, let me know because I can see the webinar chat. And I will also explain later, but during the webinar, you can use the chat for your questions. But most likely I will answer your questions during the Q&A at the end. But if you have a question at that moment, please write it down so we can see it. And I can help you for it. Thank you very much. Yeah, I think that's it. Let's just start. So I'm sharing my screen. And that's the presentation. You will get it as well at the end. And I also have AG5 open to next. So sometimes I will switch between the presentation in the AG5 account. Let's just start. So today, this webinar is about staying audit ready. And I will talk a little bit about how to plan and manage workforce skills proactively in AG5. And we have some options for you in that. So first, a little bit about me. I'm Tessa. I'm a customer success manager. And since July, I'm working here now for 2 years already. Before, I also did already like customer onboarding and support. And now already 2 years in customer success. AG5 main mission is actually to help companies, to frontline workers, to help them get the workforce like visuals and close the skill gaps. We have a lot of systems around like HR systems and LMS systems that have some kind of tools in it, but never it was all the same. So there were always some options, but not everything. So the owners created AG5 to give the options like all the skills, so a system for only the skills with the compliance and the visuals as well. So you can see already some pictures of AG5 on the right side, a part of the matrix, a part of the organization structure, how things could be linked. But this is to ensure the right persons with the right skills that you can stay on top of it and be compliant 100%. During this session, I will give a demonstration talk about with my presentation about 30 minutes, and then there's also time for a Q&A at the end. So again, I see some people joined. If you have any questions during the webinar, please put them in the chat, and at the end, during the Q&A, I will walk through those questions and help you out. So don't be shy and use the chat, please. And I already saw that Larissa put it in the chat, but you see the last point is the slides and the recording will be shared with you after this webinar, and also the recording will be on the YouTube channel for other people who couldn't join. At this moment, there will be an open poll on your side. I can see it as well. So please use one of the options here. And the question for you is, how do you currently stay ahead of skills that are missing or about to expire? So how are you using at this moment your skills management? We would love to see your input. Thank you for that. And let's see, I see 50% of the people is using manual ways like Excel, spreadsheets, or papers, and 50% do not track proactively. So happy you are here in this webinar. So maybe we can help you out. Great. Somebody else also put it in the chat. So great for that. Thank you very much. That will help me out also to help you a little bit more in this presentation. What will be learned at the end of the webinar? So I will talk about how can you, we have already AG5 set up, but how can you make a planning in AG5 to be proactively for the audits to say, hey, at this moment, the training is in 2 weeks or next month, but we already saw we will get into trouble if we don't do anything. So we set up a planning so you can see we are proactively working on trying to get the employees compliant 100%. We will also check out how you can revoke a skill, because yes, sometimes you need to revoke a skill depending on the different kind of situations. I will explain them later. There are already 2 in the example, like medical leave or maybe the safety violation. So there are some options there that's also in the system. I will also help you to explain to you how to exempt employees for specific skills. So they're in the team, everybody needs to do it. So the skills are required for everybody from that department or in the team, but one person actually is part of the team, but not working on the work floor or the shop floor. So why should he or she has as well those requirements? There's an option to revoke, to get that person given exemption. And also we have a workflow at the end, and the workflow will help you to automatically set up just an email to notify the employees, hey, the skill is soon to be expiring. Please start with your training so you stay on top of it and you are compliant, so we can plan you in for the next shift. Why proactively skills management matters. Avoid production delays, safety risk, add failed audits. If there's an audit, sometimes they are planned before, so you know somebody's coming. Sometimes they are not planned, so somebody's standing at the door, hey, I want to do an audit. So these types can happen, and this way in AG5 you can stay compliant proactively. So stay ahead of audits and compliance risk, make smarter staffing decisions so you can plan, hey, there's a holiday season at this moment, the summer holidays are coming up, people are going away. You cannot say to the whole department, hey, it's summer, please go on leave and come back in September or something like that. There's always something going around, maybe also a flu, so you have to schedule your team who could work next Monday. And save time and reduce manual work with automation. And that's that we can do with the workflow. Let's start at the skill planning. What is a skill planning? Schedule when a skill gap will be closed, or ensure employees are qualified for future audits, projects, and roles. Why does it matter? Forecast readiness. So you have a forecast, everything is fine, everybody's there, you have enough employees who could do the work. Maybe, for example, you have a work line in a factory, and yeah, there's some people are on holiday. You cannot put in people who are just started 2 months ago on a machine line and say, yes, this is great, they can do everything, because they need to have their knowledge there as well. So that's why forecast readiness is really important. Plan resources and also stay compliant. On the right side, you see one of the skill plannings that is already existing. You see it for Olivia. There's a skill. Normally, there's also a score. If it's just a skill that's achieved or failed, there are 2 levels, then there would be a score of a whole pie or a whole circle. If it's a different kind of skill rating, depending on like for level 1, you will have a pie with different pieces, and then you can see which level this employee has. I will show that in a minute in one of the matrices. Then you can see also the creation date. So when was it created? What would be the deadline? Please always add a little bit extra time for the deadline, because if you plan a training for somebody and he is sick, or he's the only one from the department who cannot go because he needs to work at that moment, because not the whole department can go, then you can, maybe he needs to do it on a different timeline. So if you have the deadline directly the day after the training was done, you cannot add the result, and then the planning will go away. So please always give them some extra time, even if the course or the training is next week. So give them like 2 weeks extra. As soon as the result is added to AG5, the planning will close automatically. So no worries about that. You can also see here the closing date. At this moment, this training, this planning is still open. So that's why there's a closing date. You can see a remark that could be just what kind of training it is, but it could also be like it's planned for next week at 1 p.m. and at room 101B or something like that. And you can see also who created it. And this one was created by my lovely colleague, Larissa. Skills planning, how to create the skills in AG5. We have multiple options in AG5 for the planning. Most likely, most people will use the matrix, because there you have an overview of your employees. So it's easy to add, if you're working there, to add different kind of planning for different people. You have there the option to do it for just one person for one skill, or to click on the skill and then plan it for most of the people in the group, because it's maybe a group training. You can also do it on the skill planning page. You can do it on the employee portfolio and also the skill page. I will show you all three. I will explain it in a second. Just on the right side, you see create a skill planning, and this one is already filled in. So it's for, again, for Olivia, there's the skill. It is a required skill for her, and this one has 4 levels. So you see a pie with level 1, level 2, level 3, and level 4. And here you say at least level 3 she needs to achieve. There was already a planning for it, and there's a deadline. So it's planned now until she needs to do it until the 1st of August, and it's the annual training we already saw. On the right side, if the employee already has some plannings in her system for different kind of skills, or that skill has different kind of plannings, you can see that information as well, and you can open that information directly. How to know if a skill is planned? You can see that by the blue dot on the circle in the matrix. Only in AG5, the blue dot has 3 different meanings. One is there's a planning created, there's a self-assessment, and the other one is waiting for approval. I will show that in a minute as well. If you don't know which one it is, I cannot see it because it's all the same blue dots. Sorry about that. But just click on the circle and you will see the information, and I will show you now. That's because we are now at the point that I will give you the demo. So I click on my AG5. I have it open. I will make it a little bit bigger so you can see it. And if you log into AG5, you are always on this page the first time. I will go to my matrix directly. In this matrix, we will use during this training. What you can see are the qualifications on the left side down below, and the employees are standing on top of it. And you can see already some blue circles. So those blue circles could be a planning, but it could be also like there's a self-assessment or waiting for approval. How do you know what it is? So if I click just with my mouse on that circle, you can see a little bit of information. One, you can see it's for which employee, the skill, there's a result, there's a self-assessment request by manager or another person, and why is it required? Because this person working on the machine line. So here you can see the blue dot is because of a self-assessment request. If I click on this part, that's Juliet. If I click on this circle, you can see there's a plan because I just created before this demo. If I click on the 3 dots, you can also see details, edit or delete. If I just click on my details, you can see the information already added, and you can see I did it like a little bit more than. So again, employee information, skill information, the score that needs to be done, creation date, deadline, I didn't set it up, closing date, it's still open, so there's no closing date, and what the remark would be, it's next, this course or this training will be next Tuesday, the 15th of July at 1 p.m. in room 100B. So how do you do that yourself in AG5? I will use Ryan for that. So if I only want to plan one planning for Ryan for the skill, I just click with my mouse on the circle. You have the add button for a result, but I don't want to add a result, but a planning. I click on the three dots and there are some options. I click on the planning and here you see the information of the planning. Here I can say, see that for Ryan, it's not required and he doesn't have achievement. I want him to at least achieve level 2, so he will get that information. We can set up a deadline. Let's put it on the middle of August, so he gets around a month. Can put a room in it, so let's be room 1B. And this is the information you will see. You can see here the information from Ryan. You can see here his skill. You can see there's no other planning for this employee. And for this skill, there's already a planning because you can see here Juliet, who was next to him in the matrix. So you can see there's also, yeah, if I save it, in the matrix, there will now be a blue dot for Ryan. And we have set up a planning with the deadline. If I don't want to add a planning for just Ryan, so like a bulk planning, I can go to a row below the one of Ryan, and that will be the second skill in this list. If I click on the skill, I have also add multiple results. We don't want to do that today. We want to go to the three dots. We go to the multiple plannings, and now I can say everybody should at least achieve level 2. There's a deadline. Let's put that one on September because we have holiday period and there's a remark for all employees. So it's in room 8, part 7. Yeah. Then I go to the next page because it's just a general information. So I will plan it for 21 people for this skill, at least level 2. And now I have my 21 people. I can go through them all. If it's everybody the same because it's my team, I'm the manager of them, I know it already, but maybe there's somebody else. So Ryan, we already have set up. Olivia, we didn't have, and Olivia is just new, so I will give her level 1. Britt is already a long time with us, and we can see she has already a score. So for her, I would like to achieve at least level 4 by this time. So you can go through the rest of the room. You can see also everybody will get the remark of the room I added. So my remark is for everybody. And if I'm happy with it, I only know that Stein will be holiday. So I don't give him a planning because he's not there anyways at that moment. I scroll down, and if I'm happy with it, I can just click save the planning for everybody. And then you will see AG5 will plan it for everybody in the row behind it. So this is an option to do a bulk plan. Then we had three other options because we are in 2. One in the organization, go down to the skill part, and there we have skill planning. Here you can see all your skills. So the ones we just created are also added. And here you have create a planning button. So everything that you can create will always have a blue button with a plus, so you can see it easily. Here you have to find your person, so I can search on it or just select the first one in the list. The skill I want to have, and here's the planning as well. And I could save it. This is the third option. The other option is at the skill page itself. Go to the skill, go to the employee you're searching for, and then on the right side you have again 3 dots, and there I can add my planning for this person for this skill. So this is again for one person per skill. And the other one, if I was at the employee, going back to Joost again, I search for my skill, and again the 3 dots, the same way as at the skills, add a planning, and then you have your option to add a planning. This is how you can add the planning for a skill in AG5. Let's go to the next part. The next part will be about revocation. We don't hope that you have to give them often, because then the training should be maybe a little bit more difficult. But there's something sometimes that you need a revocation because of whatever reason. Temporary or permanently withdraw a skill for an employee without deleting it. Because if you delete it, it's gone out of the history and nobody will see it. This employee should have it. But sometimes there was an accident, or the employee had an operation because of something like an infection, and now he cannot work on the machine at that moment. So that's a moment that could be an option that you say, I need to revoke that for the next 3 weeks, and then we will evaluate if the employee is already recovered enough to start working again. And he maybe needs a retraining or not. If reflected real life scenarios where an employee is not allowed to perform a task for a period of time, depending on the time that you're setting them. Skill revocation, when to use skill revocation. Use skill revocation when an employee can't perform a skill due to, we already talked about it, injuries or health conditions. Like sometimes you are working with chemicals and somebody has maybe asthma and he or she cannot breathe when he or she is working with those chemicals. Safety regulation, too many incidents or near misses. So you want to retrain all the group without saying, hey guys, I know you know the knowledge, but there's too much going wrong, and we want to keep safety really high. So we want to retrain everybody. So then you can also revoke the whole group and say we need to retrain. And temporary restriction because of maybe pregnancy or high risk groups. And because of, you don't delete it and put it back on the employee as a requirement, is because if you delete it, you can forget it. And if you do a revocation, it's still in 85. The skill is there, it's red, and everybody notices. Why revoke instead of deleting? Sorry, I already talked a little bit about more accurate records. So you have also the history for audits, you can show it. Preserve compliance history, prevent re-qualification or loopholes, so you're going around, and clearly flags risk. How to revoke a skill? Maybe you already saw it when we were trying to add a planning in AG5, but you can do this as well in the matrix as a employee portfolio or at the employee list. Choose duration temporarily or permanent. So if it's permanent, you can say forever and put the timetable for a long time if necessary. But you can always clear it if the employee is back up and running again, or it's allowed to do that. Yeah. Example scenarios like a forklift operator is on medication and that affects his alertness. So he's not allowed to drive during the time of his using those medication. That could be it. The technician has a safety violation. He was not wearing his helmet or he forgot his working shoes. So he was on his sneakers, and that's a violation of the rules you have. An employee is temporarily unfit for physical tests. Now the live demo, I'm going back to AG5. Let's close this one and go first back to the matrix, going back to my matrix. So here I have for Ryan a skill with a result, and there was something wrong. So Ryan wasn't keeping the safety, or he has the medication and cannot work at this moment for the skill. So you click on the skill itself. You, oh, sorry, my page is a little bit too big. And instead of clicking on results, you go back to the three dots, and the second one is add a skill revocation. Here you can say a from date, so from today, and then an end date. So let's put it in and then say for now until October. Put a remark, medication, and you can evaluate whenever necessary. If you save it, it will be there, and there will be a logo of it. And if I click on it, you can see it's revoked until, so you know where it is. If it's for people who are having a requirement, so let me put it on this one. Click revocation, just put a date in there. And the starting date today. test for now, you will see there's a different kind of logo. So if it's a requirement, there's always a blue line around it so you can see it. Then it will be red. If it's not required, you will see it in gray. Those different kind of logos and information you can always find in AG5 with the ledger, like the display of the settings. If you click on it, please scroll down below because it will show you all the rating skills are optional in this matrix. And down below you have the status. And here you can see we revoked something when it was required. And this one is the logo of the revocation when it's not required. Okay, let's go scroll up and close it again. So this was one option. Then we had the employee list. So if I select 1 or 2 employees, we have the action option. And here I can revoke a skill for those 2 people. So there I can only select 1 skill, give them both. So this one could be the option if you have the whole team. That's also an option in if you have the matrix. You don't have to do it by one. Sorry about it. So here you can do multiple employees. And if I just go to Yoast again and then say for this one, there's also the revocation option at the employee page. So always check the 3 dots if you're searching for something because the 3 dots is actually helping you. We moved like 20 buttons away behind the options of the 3 dots to help you find your way and not give you a lot of buttons on your page. Yeah. Let's go back and to the next part. There could also be an option that you want a requirement exemption. So for example, there's an individual who has a specific skill requirement without changing the role base. So I'm part of a team or department, and they all are working on the shop floor or the workspace. And I'm the only one who is not working on the shop floor, but I'm the one who's working in the office for the administration, but I'm part of the team. But for the complete team, department, or whatsoever, they have like requirements. And because I'm part of that group, I also have those requirements. But maybe I don't have to do it because I'm not working with that machine, because I'm only working with my computer at my desk. So that could be an exemption option for you, why you would use it. And here you can see an example of it. It's again a skill exemption for an employee for a specific skill. There could be a period, and you can also say it's forever because I would never put a foot on the shop floor because I'm in the office and the office is at the front door, so I never will go down to the guys. You could add a remark, why, and those remarks are really important also for the audits, because then if I'm not the person who set it up and there's an audit and I have to explain myself why there's a exemption or a revocation or whatever option there, please always put in a remark. Then everybody knows why somebody put it on. Yeah, not just nice to have, but it's like because of I'm not working on the shop floor. That's a really good reason. So everybody knows, oh yes, it's Tessa, she's working in the office. When and why use it? Use an exemption when an employee temporarily doesn't need a required skill. Temporary, I'm helping a different department. A role-based rule doesn't apply to a specific person. So because I'm working in the office and I'm only doing administration, you want the documentation and justify exemptions clearly. Examples, an admin in a technical role who doesn't perform hands-on tasks, a senior employee who's externally certified but not tracked in AG5, but you want to have planning or in the team, or a new hire who's onboarding, but he cannot do all skills as soon as he starts his working. He needs to do it step by step. So he cannot work directly on the complete machine. He needs to first know the house rules and the safety rules and whatsoever. So you could give him an exemption in the beginning from that he doesn't need to do those skills because maybe he has hundreds of skills he needs to work on, and it will give him an overview which one are important to start. What happens when an exemption is applied? When an exemption is active, the skill no longer appears as missing. So if it's missing, it will be red in AG5. So if it's not missing and it's required, then it won't be red anymore. It's muted in the matrix for the employee only. So it's only for one person or multiple persons from the complete group because they are not doing. The exemption is tracked transparently, so you're not hiding anything. And for audits, you can say, hey, these are the persons who are there. Hey, this is the office. Look, they are sitting here. Everyone else in the same role still sees their requirements. So you're not hiding it for everybody. It's only for those people who are special. And you can see here on the right side, it's for Alexander. For his VCA, he has a requirement on because he's from the team or the group in the organization structure of the production, but he has an exemption for whatever reason. And if you click on the three dots again, you will see the details. How to set it up for the exemption? Again, the matrix. Click on the matrix, search for your employee, click on the scale XY to the employee, click on the pie and then on the three dots and then the exemption. From the organization tab, you can also do it. I'll show you in a second. Navigate to the requirement exemptions, and there you will again need to find the employee, the skill, and then the reason why. Let's go back to the demo. So we go back to the matrix. Go to the matrix, we will find a person who has a result. So this is Brit, she has a result. It's a requirement because she's working on a machine, but actually Brit is not working on a machine. She's the one who's working in the office. Add the results, so we need to go to the three dots, and there it's like the skill exemptions down below. Again, we have a starting date, and maybe we have an end date, so maybe it's temporarily because Brit is working at the office because she had a problem with her foot. She cannot work on it, so in the shop floor she cannot be quick enough to run away if there's an accident, so she's not allowed to work on the shop floor for the next 2 weeks. So let's put it on until the end of July, and then let's say problem with foot, and here you have it, and we will save it at this moment. So now it's not required at the moment, and you can see my exemption here, and with the details you will have the information. This is one. And then organization, go back to the part of the skills, and there it is the skill exemptions. You can see here Brit we just added, and here you have again the blue button to create a new one. Here you put in the time, again search for the employee, then the skill, and then add your remark, and then save it. The saving button is now gray because I cannot save it because it's still empty. So you see there are 3 fields we at least need to add. If it's something forever, then put it in like 2099 or something like that when the employee doesn't work anymore for you. Let's go back to the presentation. Now we are coming at the last point of this demo, and this is the workflow. What is the workflow? Automatic workflow help you to stay ahead of triggers from emails. So we have set up our planning. We have also the information of the matrix with what's green, what's red, what's maybe orange. The orange is the warning part, so the employee is still valid for his skill, but it's a warning that it will expire soon. So that's also could be a trigger. So you could stay compliant before it's revoked. Purpose, remind employees to renew certificates, alert managers about compliance risk, and keep teams informed without manual tracking. The workflow triggers are, we have multiple ones, so I will pick out a few for you. Required skill are missing, so they are red, they are required, you have to do that. Another one, skill required, not required, is expiring soon. So the employee has a result, it's still valid because it's until the end of September, and the warning period is 3 months before. So it's starting 3 months before, so you have the time to retrain. There's also for self-assessment and some plannings, but we will keep it to those 2. You can see here the list, but I will go soon through that. Where you will set it up, the workflow is set up in the organization structure only, and we will go to that second. Click on the create the workflow configuration, add a name and save it, add the trigger as an action, and then activate the workflow. Let's do that. So go to organization of AG5, scroll down to around the middle. There will be the workflow where you can set up a new workflow. So you can see I have already 2 in this system. We will create one and say, let me demo, so everybody knows why it is. I'll leave it on AG5 as a sender of this email. Save it. Before there are questions, if you want to have your own company email address on it, that's fine, but please always send an email to support, because if you edit, it doesn't work. IT needs to set it up for you on the background. We now created a workflow, but it's the empty template. What we have above, we don't touch. So that's the general information we saw before. Now the next step would be a trigger. The trigger is when should AG5 do something for you. So the trigger will be for us now. Required skill is missing. So it's red, there's no results at this moment, or it was expired a long time ago, and now we want this. Then what kind of skills do you want? If you do it for the first time, please do it with a test skill, or do it or with one skill and then add the others later on. If you're sure and you already created workflows, then you can select multiple ones. Here's just a flat list. We also have your library where you can find your skill. I will just select 2 of those. I will click on save. So we have now created a trigger for a missing required skill for 2 skills. Then we need to create an action. The action will be sending an email. There you have 3 options: sending it to the employee, sending it to the manager, or sending it to a specific email address. Specific email address would be for a external training team party where you're sending out like the first 8. This employee needs to be added to the list of the first 8 training, that kind of stuff, for your own internal training team. For now, this example, we will do the employee. I forgot to tell you, the trigger, you can only set 1 trigger. For the actions, you can set multiple ones, but you do it one by one. So here we only will do this. Let me see. And then I will use the AG5 automatically computer language, I will say. So it's missing skill. It will add the name of the skill that is in the trigger that is activated for me. That's right. Missing skill. And then here my message, and let me see where my message is. I had it already typed for you. So I just created a small, sorry about that, a small text. Here, dear employee, I'm not sure how you're working in your company. It could be you're always talking to your employees with the full name or only the first name. For now, I will do it by first name because that's how we work at AG5. And I had created an XY here, and there's the qualification. So now I have my email set up correctly. And if I want to save it, I cannot save it because it's gray, because I missed the last step. When should AG5 send it? I would always advise to do it when the employee is available. Not available means the employee is snoozed. So he or she is temporary off, sick leave, backpacking, holiday, whatsoever. And we will just save it. And now we have the email. If I click on it, I can see my email as well. So here you can see the complete email. If you want it, and you can try to test it as well. It's still not activated. If I'm happy with it, I can activate it, and I will do that by the 3 dots above. And there you have your activation workflow. If this button is gray, that means you missed or a trigger or an action. But I forgot one point, because it's new since the last release or 2 releases ago. We have now also reminded. So the trigger will only send 1 email and that's it. But now we have a reminder. So if you say, hey, this employee is, it's holiday season or whatsoever, we want to remind the people if they didn't take action yet. And that's possible because I sometimes also forget something. So now I want to send an email to the employee. I have it patient. So let's say after 7 days, I want to remind it. You have days, months, or year. And here I can say the operation, how often, and I say 4 times. So today I activate the workflow, then it will send out an email. If in the next 7 days, the employee didn't do the training and there's no result added, AG5 will send a reminder email. Then he gets 7 days extra. If he didn't do it, it will send out the next one, and it only send out 4 times that email, so 4 times 7 days. If in between those 1 period, the employee did the training and add a result in AG5, the planning will stop. So the workflow will stop because we achieved our goal. Yeah. So now it's set up, and to activate it, we will go to the 3 dots and activate the workflow and click activate it. And now you can see it's activated. And also on the first page, the demo is now yes, and there's a reminder set up. So you can see it, no approval necessary. Let's go back to the presentation. Key consideration, I already told you. Oh no, this is the other one. If you have all skills of your AG5 account, so like 500 skills, and there's a new employee and everything is red and he has like 50 requirements, if the workflow is triggered to all qualifications, he will get 50 emails. We are working on it. There's a wish that we will create like a summarized email later on. We are working hard on it, so hopefully it will be soon in AG5. But at this moment, for every skill that is triggered by the workflow, will be sent out 1 email per employee. So if it goes to the manager and he has 10 employees and there are 10 skills, he gets 10 codes. So maybe you want to be nice to your colleagues. Yes. To manage this, use specific triggers for high priority skills, create separate workflows for differences, roles, and urgency levels, and require you send emails. Oh, yes, I forgot to show you. In the workflow itself, there will be a history page from what the actions are in the history. So this one is just activated, so he didn't do it. Let me check it was here. Yes, this one was already activated before, so you can see the history. This is 1 point. So in the workflow itself, you can see it, and also organization. And the third option is the email. There you can see the test emails from the workflow, but there's also the self-assessment options set. So there are all combined emails. Listen, that one is that. We are almost at the end, so we are going to the Q&A. But before I go there, we have in AG5 multiple options to help you. So one is self-service. So in AG5, you have your logo where you can see your account, the language. So if you want to put it in a different language, it's possible. And we have the help button. And in the help button, you go directly to our knowledge base page, help center. And here you can find the documentation, you can find the roadmap, the release notes, and you can search for, I want to do something with workflow, and I cannot find it in a few seconds in the list on the left side. So I click on it and we will find the documentation of the workflow. We have our lovely support. So you can send an email, and we also have the webinar replies with the YouTube channel. Yeah. Now it's time for the Q&A. Are there any questions? I know I talked a lot in a short time, so it could be that it's a little bit overwhelming, but maybe there are questions about the planning, the revocation, the exemption, or the workflow at this moment. Let me know. I don't see anything yet, so I will wait a second more because maybe somebody is typing a really good question for me. Let's see. If you still have a question or later on a question, no worries, you can always reply to us and we will help you out with your questions. I don't see any questions in the chat yet, so I will go further because of the time. If you're really interested in AG5, great, we would love to see you. Please book then an intro with my colleagues and they will help you out. So get started with AG5. There will be a message for you later on. And you can get in touch with us and one of our colleagues will help you out. And maybe I will see you later on when you started with AG5 during the customer success sessions. Engage with us. So if you love this, please answer on we are on LinkedIn. There was a message on LinkedIn. So maybe you want to add something on the message of LinkedIn. That would be great. I see Larissa is already adding in the chat the link to LinkedIn. So please let us know. We would love to hear from you. And also, please take a moment to complete our briefly survey. You will get that soon as well. We would love to hear your feedback to update our webinars. And if you have any questions, let us know as well. And that was the last page. So I see there are still some people left. Really great. Thank you very much for listening to me and joining me and us at AG5. If you have any questions, don't be shy. Let us know. We are here to help you. Love to see you soon again with one of our other webinars. If you missed some, there's also the link for the YouTube channel, so you can check out one of our other colleagues who did a webinar. And maybe we'll see you soon. I wish you a lovely day. Bye.